this program reminds me so much of that program, and it has the potential to do so much in the city.
I don't think I know, because there are no safe spaces for them to engage one another in these type of discussions about manhood, about masculinity. And I mean, they may create spaces from for example, I've seen organizations, religious organizations that create space for men, but there's still some limits to those particular type of spaces because of the religious component. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They're not engaging one another in schools because that's not the type of content that's included in the curriculum. It's more of a focus on these New York State standards. So where are they having these conversations? They're not having it in their household. They're not having it on the streets, because if they're amongst their own peers, a lot of times that's an echo chamber. Mm-hmm. So they don't have somebody that is in a position that's helping facilitate discussions around ideas that they may have never considered before. So I know it's important because they don't have spaces like this at all to discuss any of these topics about identity, about masculinity, about healthy relationships with their peers and their female counterparts.
I think masculinity for Black men is one-sided. You know what I mean? I think you should, just as much as they, press, oh, you should be tough, you should be this, you should be that, you have to show that other side, that vulnerability. It takes a certain kind of man to be able to show that, to be okay with not being okay, and for nobody to look at you like, oh man, this dude, he's soft. Because growing up, if you showed any kind of too much of an emotion that made you vulnerable, it was like, oh, he's soft, he's weak. That's somebody who's emotionally intelligent. And not to be a sexist or anything, but it's okay for females, why can't it be okay for us? That needs to become a new norm, to where you can go to somebody, hey man, I'm not okay. And nobody look at you with three eyes like, oh man, you just bugging. It's those things that don't get discussed frequently in our culture. And I mean, myself.
They have a lot less opportunities for education in general because of Buffalo Public Schools, but then also just because of systemic racism and things like that, they lose a lot of opportunities that other people in the suburbs might have access to. And so I think this program is really great because it kind of gives them this opportunity to learn something about community and brotherhood and connection in a safe environment where they can kind of express these feelings that they may not be able to express in other environments that they're part of.
A lot of the young men nowadays are growing up without a good role model in their home. So a lot of our young men are missing that, and that's not to say that a father is present or absent, because he could be present and still not be a good role model. And so, programs like this, through their process of selecting who facilitates, places a young man and to be a direct recipient of, the knowledge and the insight that a good role model can provide to them.